Are you tired of feeling guilty every time you take a break or scroll through your phone instead of tackling that never-ending to-do list? Let me tell you something surprising. It's not your fault. Science shows that our brains are hardwired to conserve energy. That's right. Your so-called laziness is actually biology at work. Think about it. Every decision you make throughout the day, from what to wear to whether to answer that awkward email, drains your mental energy. This phenomenon is called decision fatigue, and it's one of the biggest reasons we feel stuck. But here's the good news. You can work with your natural instincts, not against them, to get things done without burning out. Reframe the way you see yourself. You're not lazy, you're efficient. The world's smartest innovators were labeled lazy because they found ways to work smarter, not harder. And guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do. Stick around, because I'm about to show you science-backed lazy hacks that actually work. And you'll never feel guilty about taking it easy again. Let's talk about one of the simplest, yet most effective productivity hacks out there, the 2-minute rule. This rule is a game changer, especially if you're someone who constantly feels overwhelmed by your to-do list. The idea is simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, just do it right away. No planning, no overthinking, no procrastination. Why does this work so well? Because our brains are surprisingly good at making small tasks feel much bigger than they actually are. Science calls this the Zeigarnik effect. Our tendency to fixate on incomplete tasks, which creates mental clutter and stress. Think about it. That email you've been avoiding? It probably takes less time to answer than scrolling through memes about how much you hate replying to emails. Tidying up your desk? That's 2 minutes or less, and yet you've convinced yourself it's a Herculean effort. By tackling these micro tasks immediately, you clear up mental space and, more importantly, build momentum. Momentum is key. When you knock out a small task, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical that motivates you to keep going. It's the same rush you get from checking off something on your to-do list. The more small wins you rack up, the more your brain craves that satisfaction, and before you know it, you've turned productivity into a series of quick, effortless actions. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're standing in your kitchen, staring at that one dirty dish in the sink. Instead of groaning about it and walking away, just wash it. 2 minutes? Done. Now, you've not only dealt with the dish, but also triggered a chain reaction. You might feel inspired to wipe down the counter or load the dishwasher. That's the power of the 2-minute rule. It turns small wins into big progress. And don't just take my word for it. Psychologists have found that when tasks feel easy to start, we're far more likely to complete them. It's called the activation energy principle. The less energy required to begin, the more likely you'll follow through. By applying the 2-minute rule, you lower the barrier to entry, making even the most dreaded tasks feel manageable. Here's your challenge. Look around you right now. Is there something you can finish in under 2 minutes? Maybe it's responding to a text, putting away your shoes, or deleting spam emails. Do it. That small action could be the start of a much bigger productivity streak. Remember, it's not about doing everything, it's about doing something. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how the momentum builds.
Now that you're building momentum with the 2-minute rule, let's level up with a strategy called batching. Task batching is all about grouping similar activities together and tackling them in focused chunks of time. Why? Because every time you switch tasks, whether it's answering an email, scrolling on social media, or making a phone call, your brain has to adjust. This process, known as context switching, is a major productivity killer. Studies show that it can take up to 25 minutes for your brain to fully refocus after a distraction. That's 25 minutes lost every time you bounce from one task to another. But when you batch your tasks, you eliminate the need to constantly reset your focus. It's like putting your brain in a single gear and keeping it there until the job is done. Think of it as the difference between running a marathon and sprinting back and forth between random checkpoints. One is steady and efficient, the other is exhausting and chaotic. Here's an example. Let's say you have several emails to answer, a few bills to pay, and some calls to make. Instead of scattering these tasks throughout your day, Set aside one block of time, say 30 minutes, to handle all your emails at once. Then dedicate another block to paying bills and another for making calls. By focusing on one type of task at a time, you're not only saving energy but also boosting your efficiency. And it's not just me saying this. Neuroscience backs it up. When you concentrate on a single category of work, you engage your brain's default mode network, the part responsible for deep, creative thinking. This allows you to work faster and more effectively without feeling drained. Still not convinced? Let's look at how this works in real life. Imagine batching your chores. Instead of washing dishes multiple times a day, let them pile up, just a little, and do them all at once. Instead of replying to texts as they come in, respond to all of them during a 15-minute window. It's like binge-watching your favorite show, except you're binge-finishing tasks and reclaiming your mental energy in the process. Here's how to start batching. Make a quick list of all your tasks for the day and group them by type. Administrative stuff like emails and scheduling, that's one batch. Errands like grocery shopping and picking up dry cleaning, that's another. The key is to stick to one batch at a time. Don't let other tasks sneak in, no matter how tempting it is to multitask. And don't forget to set boundaries. Let people know you're unavailable during your batching time. Silence your notifications, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and focus on powering through your tasks. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you're not constantly shifting gears. Task batching isn't about working harder or longer. It's about working smarter. So give it a try. Your brain will thank you, and your to-do list will never see it coming. Let's take a moment to talk about a superpower most people don't use nearly enough: outsourcing. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. Outsourcing doesn't mean you need to hire an assistant or spend tons of money. It's about recognizing that you don't have to do everything yourself. Sometimes, the most productive thing you can do is not do it. Here's the science. Your brain has a finite amount of cognitive resources each day. When you spread yourself too thin, trying to handle every little detail, you deplete those resources faster. This can lead to decision fatigue, burnout, and, ironically, not getting much done at all. But when you delegate or outsource, you free up mental energy to focus on tasks that truly matter. Think about your daily life. Are you spending time on tasks that someone else could easily handle? For example, grocery shopping. Apps like Instacart or Amazon Fresh can deliver everything you need to your door, while you use that time to work on your passion projects, or simply relax. Or take cleaning. Hiring a service for even a few hours a month can save you from endless scrubbing and give you more time for things you actually enjoy. And it's not just about apps and services. Look closer to home. Are there tasks you could delegate to your family, friends, or coworkers? If you're always the one handling household chores, could you split the workload? If you're managing a group project at work, could you assign specific tasks to others instead of trying to do it all yourself? Here's an example. Say you're launching a small side hustle. Instead of struggling to design your own logo or edit your videos, why not hire someone on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork? Sure, it might cost a little upfront, but the time and stress you save are worth far more in the long run. Outsourcing also trains your brain to focus on your strengths. A famous study in behavioral economics showed that people who focus on high-value tasks and delegate the rest are not only more productive, but also happier and less stressed. Why? Because they spend more time doing things they're good at and enjoy, instead of wasting energy on tasks that drain them. Now I get it. Sometimes, the idea of outsourcing feels like cheating. You might think, if I don't do it myself, am I really accomplishing anything? The answer is absolutely yes. Outsourcing isn't about laziness, it's about efficiency. It's about recognizing your time as a valuable resource and choosing to spend it wisely. Here's your action step. Look at your to-do list and ask yourself, what can I delegate or outsource today? Start small. Maybe it's ordering takeout instead of cooking, or asking someone to proofread that report you've been stressing over. Remember, every task you offload is one less thing weighing on your mind. Outsourcing isn't just smart, it's liberating. You're not giving up control, you're gaining freedom. So, let go of the guilt, embrace the help, and start focusing on what truly matters to you. Here's something you might not hear often. Rest is not a reward, it's a strategy. That's right. Taking breaks and prioritizing rest is one of the smartest things you can do for your productivity. But let's face it, in today's hustle culture, rest is often seen as laziness, and we're made to feel guilty for even thinking about it. Well, let me tell you something groundbreaking. Science says otherwise. When you push yourself to the brink without allowing time to recharge, your brain enters what researchers call cognitive overload. This is when your focus, decision-making, and creativity all take a nosedive. Studies show that prolonged work without rest can reduce your productivity by up to 40%. Yes, 40%. That's not just working hard, it's working inefficiently. So, how can you embrace rest as a productivity hack? Let's start with one of the most powerful methods, the Pomodoro technique. This simple yet effective approach involves working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. These short breaks give your brain a chance to recover and come back sharper. And the best part? Knowing a break is just around the corner makes it easier to stay focused during work sessions. But rest isn't just about breaks during work, it's also about how you unwind at the end of the day. Did you know that your brain continues solving problems even while you sleep? This is thanks to the default mode network, which becomes active during rest and allows your subconscious to work through challenges. It's why some of your best ideas pop into your head when you're lying in bed or taking a shower. And let's talk about sleep. It's the ultimate productivity tool. While you sleep, your brain processes information, consolidates memories, and recharges for the next day. Skimping on sleep isn't just unhealthy, it's counterproductive. A well-rested brain is up to 3 times more effective at problem-solving and decision-making than an overworked one. So how do you make rest a non-negotiable part of your routine? Start by setting boundaries. Shut down work emails after a certain hour, turn off notifications, and give yourself permission to truly unplug. Create a bedtime routine that signals your brain it's time to wind down. Whether that's reading a book, meditating, or simply enjoying some quiet time. Remember, rest isn't wasted time. It's an investment in your well-being and productivity. By giving yourself the time and space to recharge, you'll not only feel better, but also achieve more with less effort. So, the next time you feel guilty for taking a break, remind yourself of this. You're not slacking, you're strategizing. Rest is what fuels creativity, focus, and success. Embrace it, and you'll find yourself accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. Now, take a deep breath. You've just unlocked a powerful secret. Laziness isn't the enemy. When you work smarter, embrace help, and prioritize rest, you're not lazy. You're efficient, focused, and unstoppable. So, go ahead, put these strategies to the test, and watch how everything changes.